Let's talk today about something that everybody thinks about, usually on a daily basis, about being happy. Are you happy? What makes you happy? What's going to make you happy? How are you ever going to be happy? Are you ever going to be happy? You doubt that you're going to be happy. What's it all about? It's feeling. It's an emotion. It's something that you look forward to, something you may dread, something you cherish, and something you know is probably going to be short-lived. That's for most people. I mean, think about the times in your life when you're happy versus the times that you weren't. Happiness is probably 1 or 2% of your whole entire life, if that, maybe more, who knows. But if we look at happiness in its minutest form, or down to its smallest form, it's an emotion, it's a feeling. And who can decide if you're happy, or what can decide if you're happy? Buy a new car, buy a new house, get a new girlfriend, get a new boyfriend, get a new husband, have a baby. You know, all these things. If I just do this, if I get $1 million, I'm going to be happy. Guaranteed I'm going to be happy. How many people you know that's gotten rich didn't get happy? Or they were happy for about that much and then they're not happy. Okay. So what it comes down to is you. You decide if you're happy or not. It's a tough pill to swallow, bitter pill, but that's what decides if you're happy or not. You do. You're the only one that can make you happy. Now you can think that it's somebody else's responsibility, like your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your mom or your dad or whoever. You might think that that's their responsibility, but it's not. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody. Because you have to decide to be happy. Now you could get a new car, you could get $1 million, or a new home. Great home, everything. Cool. It's got all the cool stuff. But you still might not be happy. You might say, well, if this situation was different, I'd be happier about it. And you'd make all these excuses. Because you don't know what you want. You really don't know. But you do know you want to be happy. Well, at least you think you want to be happy. Not sure if you want to be happy. Is happiness really going to solve it for you? You don't know. You just know that everybody says, hey, if I had this, I'd be happy. Or I'd be happy if I did this. Psychologically, everybody's told all the time, happiness is what you want. And if you get these things, it's going to make you happy. Well, that's the selling point. Well, of course. If I was selling something, then I would say, hey, if you buy this, it's going to make you happy. It's going to make you feel good. That's the other thing. Happiness, feel good, it's all the same thing. So now that you're in charge of being happy yourself or feeling good on yourself, how do you do that? What's the secret? Well, there really is no secret to your happiness other than you making the decision. It all comes back to control and understanding. Now, you could be sitting in a room by yourself with nothing to do, and you could say, well, I'm bored. I don't have any money, I don't have anything to do, and just really getting bored. Okay. Well, who decides that you're going to get up off your ass and do something about it? It's the only one is you. You might say, well, I don't have any money. Well, that doesn't mean you can't do something. It means you can't make up something. Years ago, when I was young, me and my friends would go out, and if we found a piece of wood and we'd pile up some dirt or make a ramp for our bikes or do something, we didn't have to have money or cool things, because we didn't have those, in order to be happy. We would make happiness out of just little things that seemed to be junk or not insignificant to other people. Now, children are a lot more adaptable when they're not pre-programmed to do certain things. They use their imagination. They just decide, I'm going to have fun. I got my friends here, or I'm by myself. Let me do something stupid. Whatever. You know, something fun. It's fun because you haven't done it before. Or maybe it's fun because I'm figuring out a way to make it happen. And that's the way you have to think. Well, if you're sitting in the room, say, hey, I'll go outside and walk around a little bit, maybe check something out, or maybe I'll build something. Well, I don't have a lot of money. Well, go get a couple pieces of paper. Maybe you should start drawing. Maybe you should start writing. There's a whole lot of things that we can do, but we limit ourselves because it's all based upon our parameters we set for ourselves. There's a box, your three-dimensional box. You live in that box mentally, emotionally, and thinking-wise. You live in that box. You confine yourself. You decide everything about your life. You decide what decisions to make or what decisions not to make. And if you want to be happy, you can make yourself happy. Just like if somebody walks into the room and you don't like them, well, you're going to get mad. But if you decide not to get mad, just say, hey, I want to do my own thing. Screw them. I got my own thing going on. I'm not going to let anybody spoil my mood because I'm in charge of it. Don't let outside sources affect your thinking, your emotions, and your feelings. Because if those outside sources affect you, then you are allowing them to control you. So you're letting others control you. And that's the same thing with happiness. If you think to yourself, well, if my spouse comes home, I won't be happy unless they do this. Well, there you are. There's your box. You're confining limitations are that box. So you're expecting somebody else to perform some function in order for you to be happy, which is not, you're not going to be happy if they do that. So what you need to decide is, am I going to continue to live within that box, that small confined box, or am I going to step out of that small confined box and start living for myself? You can live for yourself or you can live for others. I understand we all have responsibilities for sometimes other people and sometimes other things. But you need to make the best of those responsibilities, and you can't let those overtake your life completely. At some point, you need to make a stand for yourself. Now, understanding that outside sources only control you when you allow it. That's a big deal. That's a very, very, very big deal. You see these people in a restaurant maybe, and somebody will say something, and next thing you know, the whole place goes up for grabs. Well, it's completely stupid because they're allowing it for the sake of drama. You're allowing yourself to go in there and act like a total fool and just like everybody else. You just following the challenge of being a fool. Well, that's easy. Anybody can just turn around and be a fool. But if you want to be in control, this is where you start. You start by understanding that you are in control. And if you choose not to be in control, then don't bitch about it. Don't complain about it. Because what other people do in life may have some effect on you, but you decide how it affects you. If there's somebody's got music on that's bothering you, then you turn your own music on. You're listening to your own music or something to kind of drown it out. There's different ways of dealing with life. But you don't allow it to affect you and use that as an excuse. That's what a lot of this woke culture is right now. Oh, I'm triggered. I'm triggered. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm triggered. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to speak out. You know what? You're being a fool. Because you're allowing other people and other circumstances to dictate what you are going to do with your life. Life is much too important. We already have enough problems here, trust me. And by lining up for this drama and letting it affect you is only making matters worse. In order for you to get control of your life, you need to start now. Not tomorrow, not in an hour, not in 15 minutes. And it's not going to be easy, especially if you are easily fallen prey to what's going on with your emotions and your feelings. It's going to take practice. And you're going to have to do it on a daily basis, maybe an hourly basis. You're going to have to check yourself. Constantly check yourself. And as you go along, you will see improvement. But unless you apply yourself, it won't matter. You can say, well, I'm going to do it today, and I'll take a day off tomorrow, and then I won't do it the next day. It's like habits. If you don't stay on that habit to change that habit, then it's not going to change. It's just going to keep falling back, and you're just going to keep falling back in the same pit. You're never going to change. So you have to make the decision to change for yourself. But when you change internally, then you also change externally. Now, don't do it for somebody else. Do it for yourself. Because we're all in charge of us. And in order for you to move ahead in any other plane or any other existence or anything else, you have to start right here. Because the control is right here. Deal with the control that we can see and feel that affects us on a daily basis, because we still got to be here every day. We still got to be here every day until we're not. And it could be a long time. But the more control that you have, the more control that you have is the more independence that you have. What you are doing is you're breaking yourself away from the flock. You're becoming independent, and that means you're valuing what you're doing. You have the drive, and you are making a difference for yourself. You might not necessarily change anybody else, and that's fine. But it's all about you right now. If you don't fix yourself, you sure in the hell can't fix your house, or your neighborhood, or your state, or your nation. You can't fix anything until you're in line. Align yourself. And it might take a while to do it. I work on it every day. Do I slip? Hell yeah, I do. It's like everybody else. But you know what? I'm conscious of it. Once you become conscious, you start to catch yourself. You say, hey, don't do that. Don't get into it. Back off, move on. And when you have that, then you realize you are moving forward. Because you're starting to train yourself to catch yourself so that you can become more in control. You will not only become a better person, but your experiences will be much better. You will be able to understand what's happening. So around you, once you begin to get more control of yourself, you'll be able to see all these manipulative and deceitful instances and drama that try to suck you in and get you involved in it. And you'll say, no, I've been there, played that many times. I'm not playing the game. And it is a game. That's why I call it the game. And this is where I tell people to start. Start with yourself. Start getting in control. Control your thoughts. If you're having a lot of bad thoughts or really just strange thoughts that you don't like, you can control that. You can control everything about your life. If you are very fearful, that can be controlled too. You have to face your fears. But first, get in control of your feelings, your thoughts, and your emotions. And things will begin to align in your life. Nobody else can do this for you, and nobody else will do it for you. So you are the only one.